This is Springfield, Massachusetts, 1893. The streets were filled with horses and wagons and dust. And these two brothers, Charles and Frank Duryea, worked in a small bicycle shop. They had a dangerous idea to build a carriage that moved without a horse. People called them crazy. They said it would never work. But the brothers were stubborn. They bought tools and metal and a small gasoline engine. Then they worked day and night. Sparks flew, hammers hit steel, and the sound of grinding filled the shop. They knew if this worked, America would never be the same. Rumors spread through town. "Those Duryea boys are building a monster," some whispered. The brothers didn't care. They had a plan, and it was almost ready. One day, the carriage was finished. It looked like a horse had been put inside a steel box with wheels. The brothers took it out into the street. People stopped and stared as the motor carriage moved down the road. The Duryea brothers had just invented the first car. A cool September morning arrived. The brothers rolled their strange new machine out into the street. It had 3 wheels, a small motor, and no horse in front. To their surprise, a crowd quickly gathered. Charles turned the crank. The machine coughed, shook, and then went silent. He tried again, and with a loud pop, smoke came from the engine. Then, to everyone's amazement, it moved. The wheels spun, and the carriage rolled forward. People gasped as kids ran alongside. Horses panicked and pulled away. The noise alone was enough to stop traffic in its tracks. Springfield had never heard anything like it. The brothers kept driving, slowly at first, then faster, with the crowd following them through the streets. They had just made history. The first time the Duryea brothers showed their invention to the public, not everyone was impressed. In fact, local businessmen laughed and said, "This will never replace horses." Some said it was too dangerous. The brothers just shook their heads. They knew the machine had power, but they also knew it could fail. Gasoline was risky, the engine overheated, and every ride was a potential disaster. But they kept improving it. They added stronger wheels, better gears, and more speed. Soon people were lining up to ask for a ride. Reporters showed up to see the invention that was taking Massachusetts by storm. The Duryea name spread like wildfire, and the brothers had no idea that their little machine was about to face its biggest challenge yet. Because when the New York Times ran a story about their invention, it caught the attention of a very important person, Henry Ford, and he wanted to buy one. These brothers just won the first ever automobile race in America. In 1895, Chicago announced the first ever automobile race in America. The Duryea brothers decided to enter. The course was over 50 miles, and the weather was freezing snow and ice. Many people said that their motor wagon wouldn't survive the conditions, but they were determined to try. On race day, several engines failed and many wheels broke. Some drivers even quit because of the blizzard conditions. But the Duryea brothers kept going. They pushed their car through the snow, dodged oncoming wagons, and fixed their engine on the road. Hours later, they crossed the finish line and the crowd roared. The news of their victory spread nationwide. The Duryea brothers had just proven that their motor wagon was the best in the country. They had done the impossible. The race was over. The Duryea brothers had won. But now what? Well, after they finished building their first quadricycle, orders started pouring in. People wanted to buy their car, the first gasoline-powered car ever sold to the public. Each one was built by hand, so it was slow and costly, but people wanted them. Oh, how they wanted them. Wealthy buyers in cities lined up to purchase the Duryeas. Roads began to change, gas stations appeared. America was shifting from horse travel to machine travel, and the brothers were at the forefront of this revolution. Every sale felt like a victory for the Duryea brothers. They had started something that could not be stopped. Their invention was no longer a dream. It was a business, and it was growing fast. The year is 1893. In a small shop in Springfield, Ohio, two brothers named Charles and Frank Duryea are working on a horseless carriage. Their goal is to build a car that can be mass-produced for the masses. In just a few years, more inventors joined the race. Henry Ford, Ransom Olds, and others began building cars. Competition exploded, but the Duryea brothers had the honor of being first. They had shown America that a carriage without a horse was possible. That one machine in Springfield had started a revolution. Soon, highways would stretch across the country. Families would travel hundreds of miles in hours, not days. The world had changed forever, and it all began with two brothers, a small shop, and the courage to chase the impossible. This is the story of the Duryea brothers, inventors who dared to dream of a world without horses. A world where anyone could get around in a motor vehicle. A world where the journey would be the destination. Do you know any obscure history facts? Share them below.